Does your recorder playing sound like this? But you want it to sound like this? Then you're watching the right video, because I'm Mrs. Tritch and I'm here to help you learn to play the recorder. Recorder Karate with Mrs. Tritch.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Tritch, and I'm here to teach you how to play the recorder. This week, our song selection is going to be Gently Sleep, a highlighter just in case. For now, we're going to put the recorders aside and just use the pencil and the highlighter to get a little bit more in depth with the music and make sure we know what we're playing before we try to play it. Are you ready? Let's go. Okay, so last week you remember we did hot cross buns, and we talked about where you could find the pitches of the song, which is up here in this corner. We talked about where you can find new information about the song, which is down here in the bottom. And when we did hot cross buns, the only notes we used, the only pitches were G, A, and B. In this song as well, the only pitches are G, A, and B. So you're using the same notes that we've worked on in class, but it's a different song, so they're in a different order. You do need to learn about the breath marks in the Yellow Belt song. That's the new thing for this song. And the breath marks look like commas or apostrophes. It's where you stop to take a breath during the song. You're not supposed to breathe at other points in time. So make sure you're aware there are 3 breath marks in this song. There's one here, and one here, and one there. And those are the spots when you're supposed to breathe. So don't breathe between every note or else you're going to hyperventilate, probably. Okay. When we look at what the notes are in the song, we said they're just G, A, and B. We reviewed those last week in Hot Cross Buns. If you need a refresher, you can go and look there. Remember how we said they were down here on the bottom in Hot Cross Buns. There's your fingering charts. I'll show you again how that works. So for the fingering charts, each one of them tells you the letter name of the note, either G or A or B. And it shows you a picture of it on the staff, so you can see it with the lines and the spaces and the treble clef. And then each one also has the recorder fingering charts. So on the recorder picture, those are the 7 holes in the front. The black ones are the ones that you put your fingers over, and the white ones are the ones that you leave open. Above the line here in the middle is where your left hand goes, above the line. Your right hand is below. So with your left hand fingers above the line, you'll notice that there is also the one circle to the side. That's where your thumb goes over the back hole. So on G, when you play G, you're going to use your left hand, pointer finger over the top hole, middle finger over the second hole, ring finger over the third hole, and thumb on the back. All right, when you play A, you're going to only use your pointer finger and your middle finger and your thumb. You don't use your ring finger on A. And on B, you only use your pointer finger and your thumb. You don't use your middle finger or your ring finger. It's just your pointer finger and your thumb. None of these notes use any fingers on your right hand, and you're never ever going to use your little pinky finger on your left hand. Remember, that's just for waving to your mom in the audience when you're playing. All right? And the note they show you on the staff is a whole note, so it just looks like it is a circle. So for the G, they drew it right there. Now, your notes might look like whole notes, but not in our song today. Today we're going to have half notes, which look like this, and then we're going to have quarter notes, which are filled in the middle. So you won't have any whole notes, but all of those are G's, okay? And when you look at the A's, again, you're not going to have any whole notes, but it's in that second space. You might have half notes, or you might have quarter notes that are all the way filled in, just like that one. All right, but you're not going to have any whole notes. And remember, the B is a little bit different. The B is on the third line up, and because it's in the middle, right in the middle, you can draw it either up or down. And our music today, they draw it down. So it'll be half notes that have the stem down, or quarter notes that also have the stem down and are filled in all the way. We already know how to read our rhythms of our notes, so as long as you can tell what line or space it is and know what the fingerings are for those notes, you should be good to go on the notes. So now that we know what the names of the lines and spaces are, what the names of the notes on the lines and spaces are, we need to make sure that we know where they appear in the song. So let's label some of them to make sure we're knowing what is what. So this first note of our song is right here above the word gently. So right there. And we're going to write the letter above it. So it's on the second line of the staff. Do you remember which one we said that was? It was G. Okay, and the next note beside it is in the space. So that one is A. It's in the second space. And then here we have one that's a half note, and it's on the third line up. And remember, it's upside down. Which one did we say would be upside down? It was the B. That's right. So G, A, B. Let's do the next three also. Here's the next one. It is in the second space again. What was that one? It's another A. And then, after that, we have a G. And the third one here in this measure is a half note in the second space. So it doesn't matter that it's a half note. It just matters where it is. It's in the second space, so it's another A. All right. Now, I think you need to pause the video and see if you can fill in the rest of the letter names of the lines and spaces. And when you come back, then I will have them all labeled for you and we'll be ready to practice our song. Okay, so I got all my notes labeled. Did you get yours labeled? And do they match? Maybe you should pause and check our answers against each other to make sure that we've got all the same letter names of the notes. Okay, did you check and make sure they match? Now we're going to look for patterns in our notes. So I see right here that we have G, A, and B in the beginning. And our next notes over here are different, but then we have another G, A, and B here. And then we've got something different, and then we have another G, A, and B, and something different, and another G, A, and B. So our pattern seems to be G, A, B, 3 different notes, G, A, B, 3 different notes, G, A, B, 3 different notes, G, A, B, 3 different notes. So it looks to me like once you learn G, A, B, you've already learned half of this song. That's pretty good. Not too much to complain about with that. Now, let's look. Are there any other patterns of notes that repeat in this song? I believe there are. Look at this. This A, G, A right here repeats down here. And if you look closely, you will see there's another one still that repeats also. The A, B, G repeats right there. So we have all of our repeated notes and our repeated patterns. When you look at the first line and compare it to the second line, what do you see? They're exactly the same. So that makes this song really easy, even though it looks like it might be complicated when you haven't checked into it too deeply. Now that we have all of our notes labeled and patterned, let's try practicing reading the notes. You already know how to read rhythm syllables, so you know that the pattern of the rhythm syllables in our song is quarter note, half note, which we don't say in our class. We use rhythm syllables and say ta, ta, tu, ta, ta, tu. And this whole song uses that pattern of ta, ta, tu. So it's just repeated 8 times. As long as you know that rhythm, you can get this song. Instead of saying 8 ta, ta, tu's, which I know you can do, let's say the letter names of the notes in the correct rhythm. So let's try it. Together, we're going to say G, A, B, A, G, A, G, A, B, A, B, G, G, A, B, A, G, A, G, A, B, A, B, G. Good job. If you didn't get it, go back and do it again. You can always try a second time. Okay, so the first thing you need to know to be able to play this song is how to play G, A, B. It's really easy. Start with your 3 fingers and your thumb on your left hand down, and you're going to just pick them up 1 finger at a time. G, A, B. Just like that. It repeats a lot in this song, so you have to know this part. Now, I'm going to play it. You can play along. You can stop after I'm done and try playing it yourself. Let's see how it goes. Ready? Just like that, 3 notes. Try it yourself until you get good at it, and then, once you're good, come back and we'll play it in the song. Okay, it's time to get out your recorders and we're going to play, but we're going to share the song. I'll play half and you play half, and you get the easy half. You're going to play G, A, B. Here's the music, and you play the yellow highlights. I'll play the blue and the green. Ready? Ready, go. How do you think you did? If you need to rewind and do it again, you can always do that. Now that you got through GAB, it's time to learn those other 3 note sections in the middle of the line and at the end of the line. So they're not super complicated. There's A, G, A, which has 2 fingers for your A, and then you put down your ring finger and bring it back up. That's A, G, A. All right, your pointer finger and your thumb don't move. I'll play it for you. You can hear it. You can play along. You can pause it and try it on your own. Ready? Just like that. Give it a try. Now that you did A, G, A a few times, the hardest one in the song is at the end of both of the lines. And it starts on A and then goes up to B. So you pick up your middle finger to get to B. And then you have to move 2 fingers at the same time, put them both down to get to G. It sounds like this. A, B, G. You have to play it just like that. I don't want to hear any extra notes in the middle. Lots of times I hear people going like this. Did you do that? I don't want to hear that. So fix that if that's what you're doing. You got to move those fingers at the same time. I know you can do it because you probably do it on video game controllers and stuff. So move those fingers at the same time. If you have trouble, go and do B, G, B, G, B, G. Just like that, over and over and over and over until you get to where you're just hearing. Remember to use your tongue in the middle to stop the sound. And then once you can get from B to G without that extra A, then you can go A, B, G, just like this. And then you've got the end of the song. Practice it a few times and then come back and we'll play it in the song together. So now it's time to play the song together again, but we're going to switch parts. I'm going to play just the G, A's, and B's. You get to play all those other notes in between. We just went over them, so you should be able to do it. Here's our music. I get to go first. Are you ready?
1,
Here we go.
2, ready, go.
Well, how did you do with that one? It was a little bit more tricky, but if you need to do it again, you can always rewind. Try one more time if you have to. Okay, now that you've got both the parts down, it's time to play the whole song. But don't worry, we'll play it at the same time together so you can hear me, and hopefully that'll help. Here's our music. Don't forget the breath marks. There's
1,
3 of them. Ready?
2,
Here we go.
ready, go.
we got through the whole song. If you need to play it again, go for it. You can take as many turns as you need listening to it, and then you can turn in your test, and you can be done, hopefully. We'll see. When you turn it in, I'll give you directions of how to do that on your e-backpack so I can grade it, and then you can move on to the next song, which is Merrily We Roll Along. And guess what? It uses all G, A, and B too. It's really pretty easy for you. After that, you'll get to learn a new note, E. So keep practicing and turning in your recorder tests.